Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Seftimor Podcast. What's the difference between the Seftimor Daily and the Seftimor Podcast? Seftimor Daily is things that are off the top of my head, unedited, unfiltered, no script. Seftimor Podcast is a podcast on articles, an audio article. So, being that it's the new year and we're all looking to make our New Year's resolutions stick, I decided to write an article on how to form good habits in 2019. This is from my website, seftimorlive.com. I update there as much as I can, and I am a writer. I love writing. I love doing it. It's just that I have little time to get it done, but I always update this when I can. So, big 2,500 word article for me here. So let's get into it. We all want to create better habits in the new year. Unfortunately for most, we never put in the work to make those habits a reality. We hope that by wishing these things into existence that they will happen for us. Going to the gym, eating healthy, creating content. These are the things that most of my readers want to do. We cannot talk our way into having these good habits. They could only be accomplished by taking massive action. Reality. How many more New Years are going to go by without you achieving the goals that you set? When are we going to stop talking about our goals and act on them? How do we take action to make sure we are living our best life? For myself, I want to lose weight and I want to increase my happiness. I want to make sure I am consistent with my exercise routine. My phone needs less scrolling social media and more gaining knowledge through books. People in my life need to understand when I say no to them, it's because I want to work on my own personal projects. It's not a knock on them. It's not me being rude. There's limited time in the day, and days are passing by very quickly, especially with a little one. Got to prioritize. These things above and more I have been saying for years. How can I finally make these goals a reality? The answer is all in habits. Things that I can do every day and check off that will get me closer to my goals. Listed below are the things that I will be doing on a daily basis to achieve this in 2019. It's a new year. I'm finished with talking about goals. It is time to start actually doing them. 1% better every day. Taking small actions add up over the course of a year. Focus on small, achievable habits that will compound over time. Too many times I have not gotten something done because I was focusing on too many things. I wrote about this in my article, Reading How to Create More Content Through Learning. Check that out also on seftimorlive.com, along with a podcast for it if you don't like reading. Instead of trying to read more and not getting any reading done, I read one chapter a day from a book. I do 4 books, one being fiction, one being nonfiction, one being spiritual. The Bible app, I'm not very religious, but I find that the devotions in the Bible app, people write about the Bible, and it's very inspirational. And then I like comics, so I read an issue of a comic a day. 4 different things, 4 different chapters, all covering different things. We want to accomplish big things in a year, but it's the small habits that will get us there. The best way to get started with something is to start small. Once we get the ball rolling is when we can start to build. Set up signposts. The best way to hold yourself accountable with your goals is to set up signposts. Let's go back to reading. In my article I mentioned before, I said that I keep apps I want to use on my first screen. The apps I use too much, i.e. social media, are on other pages. This way, when I open my phone, I have my Kindle, the Bible app, comics app right in front of me. It helps me to open one of those and get some reading done rather than scrolling mindlessly on social media. So I love Twitter. If you know, I tweet a lot and I'm on there a lot. And I have to constantly remind myself that it gets overwhelming. Follow so many streamers or so many people, it gets very overwhelming. and I have to take a social media detox. So I put these apps on my front screen, so I would have to make another move to get to Twitter or Instagram or those things. I also have my daily to-do list app on my front screen, which is tick tick. By having that on the first page of my phone, I know that these are tasks that need to get done, and I check it often. I get into it a little more in the article, but I use the tick tick app and I put everything in there. Everything. Minuscule, small things. Not huge projects. I put those in as well. But small things. That way you could check off 5 to 10 a day and you feel great. And if you're like me, I set a ton of reminders in my phone. That helps me to remember what I need to get done. Prepare. It has been said for years that if you want to go to the gym in the morning, lay out your workout clothes that night before. This can be used for a multitude of different goals we set. Do you want to read more? Have the books in front of you. Want to stop social media consumption? Move those apps to a different screen or delete them entirely. Trying to increase your happiness? Have a meditation app like Headspace right in front of you. Creating better habits is all about preparation. It comes down to having systems in place that make the decisions easy to execute on. I am a very, very, very big systems-oriented guy. One day, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to write an article on exactly what I do at the exact time every day, because it's the same thing. And then I look and I see if I have a spot of time that I could do something or create more, and I try to fill it. I want to be working every day and having systems in place. I know when I park my car before work, I'm recording the Seftimor daily. I know I'm uploading it and getting the stuff out on my free time. I know when I come home, I'm either streaming or I'm going to continue to write. I'm going to go in and network with streamers on Mixer.com. And these are all systems. It's all executed on at a specific time at every day. Adding on to existing good habits. In 2018, I decided to start streaming again. One of the biggest components of growing your channel is to network. This means going out of your way to not only make friends, but to help people. I have always put helping people high on my list of priorities. When I started to meet people through streaming, I had countless opportunities to help. The help came in the form of diversifying content creation. I had already been blogging, doing YouTube, podcasting, and writing. So when someone came to me and asked about how to make more content, I had answers for them. I already had good habits of understanding how to take one piece of content and use it across multiple platforms. The fact that I added helping fellow content creators to that habit not only helped me understand more about what I was doing, but how to help others as well. Helping others is huge, guys. I mean, take Gary Vaynerchuk, top guy that I consume on the daily. It wrote a book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. And the jabs are all about give, then ask. And instead of take. Everyone wants to take. Give, ask. Helping people is the lifeblood of the content creation. It's the lifeblood of what makes the world go around here. And that's what you have to be focusing on. And good things come back. Eliminate toxic people. We all heard this one. You are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. We hear this over and over in the space. The reason being is that, at least for me, it's true. In 2018, I met so many other content creators. Watching them work and grow lit a fire under me to do more. If you want to grow on a platform, find people with similar interests as yourself. Spend your time around the people that inspire you. Try to find someone that you look up to, and don't be afraid to ask for advice from these people. Also, find friends that you hold accountable for your habits, that will hold you accountable for your habits. If you say something and don't do it, you will feel bad because you not only let yourself down, but others as well. I like that a lot. I like letting people know that you're going to do something, help them in a way, and being held accountable for those actions. It gets you out there. It gets you, a lot of people say with like weight loss, get a personal trainer. That way they'll hold you accountable to be there, to show up every day. It's the same thing. Don't be around people that are dragging you down. And don't listen to people. that aren't doing what you're doing. The advice that they give you will never be what we want it to be. And in turn, we'll get upset and we'll judge ourselves, which we shouldn't. Put out content without worrying about what people think about it. If you believe in it, if you trust it, and it's good, don't worry about it. Break out of your comfort zone. I have a huge podcast on this next part about the diet that I'm on, and I've been trying to lose weight for 10 years now. And this has finally gotten me to lose 12 pounds, and I'm about 16 now, so going well. In 2018, I decided to try the OMAD diet, 1 meal a day. I started in December, and so far I've lost 12 pounds at the time of writing this. Fasting is a habit I've been doing for a while. The problem is I'm a binge eater. I could be doing great with the fasting, but one piece of food, no matter how small, put me in a tailspin of binging. Instead of trying to fast for 16 hours, I decided I would fast as long as possible and eat at the end of the day. You see, when I'm fasting, I can control my eating habits. So I thought to myself, if I could not eat until I get home and get all my work finished, there wouldn't be any room to binge eat. I could get all my calories in one meal and be satiated until bedtime. So I tried it, and so far it's worked like a charm. I count my calories, making sure that I'm hitting my macros, my proteins, my carbs, and my fats, and making sure that I'm eating enough calories while also being in a calorie deficit. I had a good habit that I was periodically sabotaging, and I turned that into a great habit. I was fasting, but I would break my fast early, which turned into binge eating all day and the like. When you sit down and have 1,700, 1,800 calories in one sitting, you're not going to binge, especially if it's at the end of the day, all your work's done, got everything done. And that's what helps too. Fasting gives you energy. I went for 2 job interviews in the last 2 weeks. Both times was at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I hadn't eaten yet because my energy and my mental focus, my mental clarity works better when my body isn't digesting food. That works for me. I'm not a doctor, so I can't help you if it doesn't work for you, but I'm just letting you know what worked for me. So I had a good habit of fasting that I was sabotaging, and now I turned into something great that's actually working for me. Took some convincing to break out of that comfort zone, but once I did, the benefits have been mind-blowing. Make habits fun. There's no better feeling I get than ticking off my to-do list. The trick is I put any and everything, like I said, we would get to this, into my Tick app on my phone. When you could get home and check off a bunch of items on your to-do list, you get that dopamine hit. It doesn't matter how big or small, just get something done. The fun part is to log everything. This way you're getting that feeling of accomplishment for even the most minuscule tasks. Meditated that day? Check it off. Ate healthy? Check it off. Get some cleaning done around the house? Check it off. It's all about the small victories that lead to big time success over the course of a year. Log everything down and you will feel incredible at the end of every week. Not to mention, you're gamifying habits and making it fun. Develop systems. Create systems for your day. Develop habits that no matter what, set you up for success throughout your day. I have many systems in place. My alarm goes off at 5 a.m. Time to hit the gym. I park my car for work 15 minutes before I go in. I create a podcast, or if it's already recorded, I meditate. When I get home, I sit down at my computer and I write. All of these things are automatic. I set myself up to get things done. The time slots and tasks are already chosen for my day before I wake up. The only thing I need to do is go through my daily routine to signal to my brain to activate the system for that task. Check out where you have free time and set up a system in place to get more done. That's it. I have, like I said, specific times every single day, and I just know, okay, this is it. My brain gets signaled and we activate and we go on, just like recording this podcast. Shower, come in, get right before bed. I'm going to bed directly after this. Record it, upload it, go to bed. Wake up, start all over again. Life happens. If one day something comes up where I can't take action on one of my systems, I throw it out for that day. I could pull up to work late and have to go in immediately. That means no meditation or podcast for that day. My alarm could go off later than 5 a.m. No gym. The thing is, I don't beat myself up because I know I crush it every chance that I get. If something happens in my life where I can't get something done, it's on to the next one. The trick is to not let it discourage you to take action the next day. Another thing is to execute on the rest of your systems you have set up throughout that day. Just because I don't get to the gym doesn't mean I can eat like crap. If I don't meditate, it doesn't mean I'm going to be miserable for the rest of the day. When life happens, deal with it, execute on the things that you can. Keep those systems in place, execute on the next system at the next time slot that you have in your day. Do not let outside sources determine your execution. When I wake up first thing, I want to do is check my phone. The problem with that is that it's detrimental to my success. When I open Twitter and see all this negativity, it's not a good start to my day. In 2019, I had to start minimizing my consumption of the crap. Instead of opening social media, I open a book. On my commute to work, I use Audible to listen to an Amazon bestseller in nonfiction. My podcast list had to be dwindled down to only the ones that help me in life. I only have so much time in my day to give attention to. The habit of making sure it is going to the right places has helped me a ton in the new year already. We can get so caught up in nonsense, it's ridiculous. Not only does focusing on creating and not consuming increase my output, it also allows me to focus on the main problem, myself. There are many things I can focus on in the day that will improve my life. I do not need to have that time sunk into things that don't move me towards my goals. Minimize the crap, get that stuff out. I was listening to music on the way to work, on the way home from work, in the middle when I was commuting, driving around. Now I make sure that that one chapter that I said in nonfiction is daily on Audible. On my way to work is when I start, and once I'm done, then I could listen to my music. Simple little hacks, simple little systems in place, another system. This is how I do it. Live up to your own expectations. We all have expectations. The problem is that most of us don't live up to them. If we want to have better habits in 2019, it's time to start putting in the work towards those expectations. We are not setting up our own goals and boundaries just to let them pass. They're being set up for us to succeed. Take the time now to set up the identity that you want in the new year, and under no circumstances not live up to that. If you're a content creator, create content. If you're a writer, write. Hitting the gym and eating right is a lifestyle, like the 1 meal a day. Stick to something that is doable long term. Set up habits that propel you to meet the expectations you have set in place. The key here is to make sure the expectations are achievable and not way far out. Burnout will only happen when you set up expectations that are too far outside our abilities. Look in the mirror, set up an identity, execute towards that new identity every day. Another thing that I got from David Goggins' book is to, I don't have it, but I have it over here, is make post-it notes, post it up there. You're overweight, boom, post it, overweight. And in the morning, look in the mirror and say these things and realize them. Have them manifest. That way you take action towards achieving what you want. It's not about the tools, but the execution. I talk to so many people that won't start because they feel they do not have the tools to execute properly. Content creators think it is the gear that got people to where they are. This couldn't be further from the truth. We create because it's a burning passion within us. The message will always be more important than how we deliver it. When I talk to creators, I get scared. People tell me how all the stars and planets must align perfectly in order to just start. They are making more work for themselves before they have even created anything. Within seconds, I understand why they have never gotten their projects off the ground. When I create, besides the message I'm delivering, my checklist is very small. The content has to get out there while maintaining my busy and hectic life. Not to mention, I need to minimize the background work to prevent burnout. The reason I develop all of these systems is to make sure the content gets out regardless of the outside circumstances that happen. We hear this all the time, but it's true. Start small. The momentum will yield results, and you will also get much, much more done in 1 year. Trust me on that, guys. There will be hard times. You'll not be perfect at all times. The process of developing and maintaining new habits is hard. On some days, you won't read, you won't create, you won't go to the gym. I'm here to tell you that's okay. You're not a failure just because you went off the plan for a day. If you mess up your systems one day, don't worry about it. The trick is to make sure you get back on the horse the very second you can. Deviating from the plan happens. What will make sure your new year is successful is not turning minor failures into major ones. Messing up is actually part of the plan. Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, continue taking action on the habits you set for yourself. If it helps, come back and reread all these examples I've laid out for you in this article. Use this article to your advantage. Perfection is the enemy of progress. Do not let it derail you for all the work that you could be putting in this year. The new year's here, guys. It's time to start taking action on all the habits you want to cultivate. You may not hit every goal you set out to do, but what's the alternative? Not making any progress towards anything? Waiting a whole nother year just to get started? We're adults here. Time to start making progress towards the life that we want. The road is going to be hard, but we are more than ready, right here, right now, to conquer the year. Thank you everyone for watching. Thank you everyone for listening. If you would like to support the Seftimor blog, I have links for Amazon, podcast subscription on Anchor, and always the on Seftimorlive.com. If you want to follow me on anywhere I create content, Medium, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Mixer, the podcast, or Facebook, all at Seftimor, Seftimor. Share this with someone that needs it. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everybody for listening to me here, reading this article. If you did over on the blog, please share it. Please subscribe to the podcast. It's free and it helps me out. Thank you, everybody, and I'll talk to you again soon. Peace.